Hello guys, welcome back. Now today, we're going to be talking about Dal Colle and what exactly happened to him. Now, Dal Colle, the left winger, drafted 5th overall in the 2014 draft by the New York Islanders. He's at age 22, and you might be thinking, what really happened to him? Because once he was drafted, he had a couple of years in the OHL, but after that, he kind of fell off a cliff and kind of went under the radar. And if you haven't heard from him in a while, it's pretty deservedly so, because he's been in the OHL, the AHL for quite a while, just developing down there. Is at age 22, still relatively young for a lot of prospects, but developing down there, we haven't heard a lot of him. And 4th overall pick, it's kind of unusual to not really hear anything about him, but going to New York Islanders, he's kind of under the radar. We just don't hear much about him. I don't hear much about him, at least, and I didn't know where he really was until today. So let's go back to where it all began in his draft year in the 2013-2014 season in the OHL. He played 67 games, had 39 goals, 56 assists for a great 95 points, and of course that's what his draft year was, and that's what really put his stock there, was the points. And he was able to get in the OHL and how he was dominating both defensively and offensively, and he was amazing both those. And in his draft year, he really impressed, and I think deserved at that point to be a top 5 guy. But of course, it obviously did not work out so far. But when you look back in his draft year, he played pretty well. And for the New York Islanders, there wasn't really too many red flags there. All you had to do was look at a great prospect and, hey, say he's a good prospect. But at the time, he looked really, really good, and I couldn't really blame New York for taking him. But after that, he stayed in the OHL for a couple of years. In the 14-15 season, he played 56 games, had 42 goals, 51 assists for 93 points. Not that much of a decline in the points department either, so he was pretty much staying at what he was in the draft year. In his 15-16 season, he played 60 games, had 35 goals, 45 assists for 80 points. So about a 15-point decrease from his draft year in the OHL, and that was a little bit concerning. But he did play a little bit in the AHL that season. He had 3 games played, had 0 points, but did get some time in the AHL, which was valuable. In his last year in the OHL, there was a little bit of red flags because he was dropping in the points department every single year, but he still had a lot of talent, and 8 points in the OHL is not bad at all, and he had already been dominating the league for a while, so 80 points was not bad at all. He was declining, but it wasn't that much, and he was going to get the time in the AHL. In the 2016-27 season, he made the full transition to the AHL. He played 75 games, had 15 goals, 26 assists for 41 points, and as a rookie AHL guy, that's pretty good for that type of production. So he was looking good after transitioning to the OHL from the AHL. That's a pretty big jump there. So he was looking decent. Again, I don't think he was looking like top 5 potential by then, but looked to have some great talent in him, and by then he wasn't like a top 5 guy, but still looked pretty good in the AHL. He did impress. Now this past season, he started with the New York Islanders. In the regular season, he played 4 games, had 0 points, then was sent down to the AHL, where he played 60 games, had 7 goals, 17 assists for 24 points, and obviously you saw the decline in the production there. In the other season, he had 41 points. This season, he had 24 points, and not that much less games. So, again, he was showing decline once again, and right now, it's not looking too great for him. Yes, he has still shown some talent, and of course, he's only 22. He's still pretty young, but at this point, you're starting to see some worrying, and by this point, he's definitely not a top 5 type pick. He is definitely a lot worse than that, but looking back on it, he still has some talent. In the AHL, he's still showing that, but it's not like he's a top prospect anymore. But yes, the age is a big thing. He's at age 22. He's not really young, but he's not old at all. I mean, some guys just take longer than others. As I said in the Dylan Strome video, I think he's at age, 20? He's still young. Dal Colle is still young. At age 22, you can have a breakout season even next season. So I'm not giving up hope completely on him. I still think that he has a lot of talent, but I don't think that he deserves to be drafted overall, looking back on it, if we were to revisit that draft. But I feel like he still has some good talent in him. With the Islanders, they desperately needed that 5th overall pick to be an absolute impact, first-year impact for the New York Islanders. That hasn't worked out so far. Dal Colle has taken a lot more time than other players, but right now it's not looking too good for them. They could have gotten guys like Nylander and some other guys later in that draft like Ehlers and stuff like that. But obviously, looking back on it, it wasn't the best pick, but he certainly still has some talent. He's shown that in the AHL. He got him 41 points. That's pretty solid, and he still has some talent in him. Again, I don't think he has 5th overall talent, but he still has potential to be a solid NHL player. And of course, with New York's draft history and development history, it's not looking too great for Dal Colle and the New York Islanders, but right now, it's not all hope is lost for him. He's still at age 22, he's not that old, and he's not confirmed to be a bust yet. He still has some time, and he can still grow. I'm not saying that he's a terrible player, or that he can't make the NHL. I feel like he is a solid player that can make it, but the time is running out for him. As I said in the Dylan Strome video, at age 22, you're going to have some people doubting you, and you're going to have some people, not losing hope for you, really. At age 22, you're getting towards that age where you really need to start progressing, and you really need to start showing some signs of NHL talent. And Dal Colle has shown that in the AHL, has shown that in OHL, but he needs to show a little bit more of it, progress even further. Then, he maybe has a few more years left to really impress and to really show that he can get back to the potential that he had. I'd say I'd give him 2 more years until I really officially call him a bust. At that point, you're really not developing too much anymore. These are crucial years for Dal Colle to really develop, to really show that he can bring it again, and really show that, the Islanders didn't really make a mistake in picking him. They did looking back on it, but if Dal Colle can really turn his history, can really change his fate, and right now, these are key years for him to do that. When it comes to the NHL, the amount of errors and the amount of mistakes you can to get there are going slimmer and slimmer. Players are going and getting in the NHL younger and younger these days, and for Dal Colle, he's an anomaly and one of the players that takes a little bit longer than others. And of course, people are going to doubt him because of that, but I feel like he has shown the talent. He has shown talent that he can still, play in the NHL. I think that he will be an NHL player. Maybe not top 6 guy, but I think that he will be a solid guy. He just needs to show that he can do that, progress, maybe get into training camp and just steer some eyes here, because he has gotten himself a little bit of a bad reputation because of how he's not really been progressing all that much and how he needs to get a lot better. So I still think that he's got some time with him, but he's going to need to impress sooner or later. Now, did New York make a mistake in picking him 5th overall? Definitely looking back on it, that was not the smart move. But right now, I don't think that all hope is lost for him, for the New York Islanders, for him to develop. There was definitely some better options. I mean, you could have gotten Nylander or some other guys in that draft. But for Dal Colle, he's still a very, very good player, and I feel like he can show a lot of talent in the NHL. He has some stuff left. He has a lot of talent, and he has already shown that throughout his draft year, throughout the OHL, throughout the AHL. He has some talent left in him. He's not a 5th overall pick, and looking back on it, I think New York Islanders would rather take other guys throughout that draft. But Dal Colle certainly is not a terrible player, and I feel like his potential has not been reached quite yet. He'll definitely get there. I don't think that he's going to be a top 6 guy for New York. I don't think that he can be, but I feel like transitioning to the NHL is going to be the biggest step for him, and I feel like he can make it there. But of course, as I said before, the time is running out for him. At this age, you have a lot of doubters, you have a lot of concerns with him because he's not really quite developed like he has really been expected to. At age 22, your time is running out. So you have likely a couple of years before the New York Islanders stop giving you chances, to really broaden your horizons, to make it to the NHL, to get those chances at NHL time. The Islanders are going to slowly lose hope in you. The NHL is slowly going to lose hope in you. The fans are going to slowly lose hope in you. So Dal Colle really needs to make these couple years count where he still has it, where he still has that talent, and he can still show it. Dal Colle is still a solid player in my eyes, and he can definitely become a solid player. He has shown that talent, but he's going to need to act fast. I'd give him a couple more years before he really stops getting those chances to the NHL, stops getting those call-ups, stops getting the call-ups that he should get. At age 22, you're still pretty young, but again, he's going to have to act on this. He's going to have to really develop this past offseason. He's really going to have to really develop, really get a lot better. And we haven't seen that too much from him in the last few years, but if he can start doing that now, I feel like it's not all lost. With the New York Islanders, they have a lot of slots open, let's be honest here, and I feel like it definitely use Dal Colle to finally get something going. I feel like he has that potential, and while he may be looking like a bust now, I don't think that all hope is lost for him. He has some potential, he has it in his body, he has that talent level, and I feel like he has yet shown it. He might do it next season too, he might be a guy to break out, but I feel like it's going to take a little bit longer than that. Not quite as much as Dylan Strome, but I could see Michael Dal Colle, maybe getting some NHL games this past season, getting a lot more than he has been so far, really start developing and really start to get better. At age 22, you're still relatively young, so he will look like a young guy out there. I feel like he has still some potential and still some time left. He'll have to really develop, but I feel like he will get the chance this season. If he really converts on that, we'll see, but I feel like we'll see him in the NHL this season. Of course, with Michael Dal Colle, we haven't seen a lot of him this past a few years, so we need to start seeing a lot more of him in the NHL, really develop, and really see him in training camp as well with the New York Islanders. We need to see him really develop and really get a lot better, and we need to see him get better. At age 22, it's starting to run out. His time is starting to run out. The ticking time bomb is going to start coming, and with Michael Dal Colle, while he still has some time left, he desperately needs to get that going, needs to get that talent level going, and needs to start impressing sooner or later before the eyes run out. So New York Islanders, they just have to start developing him right, and he has to start impressing like he has been in his draft year. And if he can get back to that talent level, get back to what he was showing, he'll be a solid NHL player, and I believe that he can be. He just needs to start showing it. And New York desperately needed a Dal Colle to be the top 5 guy that they picked him at, but while I don't think that he will be that, I feel like he will be a solid player for years to come if he can start developing, if he can start getting it going now. He will get that chance, and it'll be interesting to see what he does next season with the New York Islanders and how he plays. But hopefully the New York Islanders give him that chance next season, give him the opportunity to play, and of course, as I said before, Dal Colle realizes that, gets that potential going, and finally impresses for the New York Islanders like they've needed him to be. But that's about it for today, guys. Good to make sure you like, subscribe. Comment below what you think about Michael Dal Colle. Do you think he's a bust already? Do you think he has time? And what do you want to see from him this past season? What do you want to see from him next season, the New York Islanders? I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.